Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series. Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series.
It's that time of the week again when the boys gather to talk everything football. This is FC Pitchside podcast with me, Thierry Nyann, and Jonathan Mensah, as well as Philip Sichuo-Trim. And today we are looking at none other than the Community Shield between Liverpool and Crystal Palace, as Crystal Palace have become only the second club to win at the first time of asking since Nottingham Forest. And also we'll be looking at the Ballon d'Or. A lot is happening over there with a 30-man shortlist that has been revealed, including how Chelsea also summed up their pre-season win over AC Milan. And emphatically would also be looking at the quiz at the end of this episode. It's really exciting at that very point, so just stick and stay with us. Who is crowned the king of football today in this episode between Jonathan and Philip? But guys, you're welcome to another episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jonathan.
Sicho, it is not the body flex, it is the brain flex.
Okay, so let me do this.
Anyway, let's go. So, guys, how's the weekend been? I'll start with you, Jonathan. Jonathan, what's your weekend been like?
Weekend has been great. Enjoying some downtime and family time. So I'm actually glad to be with you.
Yeah, just before we went live, you were enjoying your kiwi.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, the life of an athlete.
Don't reveal my secret. That's my secret.
Sicho, what's your weekend been like?
Man.
It's been a very busy week for you. You said.
It really has. My elder brother is getting the one I can ride after Anthony. Tied the knots this weekend, so you can imagine the whole week has been busy because I've been running around with him. And then thankfully to God, we had a beautiful marriage ceremony on Friday, and Saturday was a blast with the family meeting with friends for the dinner. Today Sunday being the day we recorded, we went to church to do the Thanksgiving. The whole family is actually around. We are gathered out there in other places around the house, but I just checked in to record the pod and then dash out quickly back to them. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I like that. We are going to be running through stuff very quickly. Today we are going to be giving ourselves about 45 minutes to finish, and so we go. Now let's start with the Community Shield. It just ended, and Crystal Palace not necessarily stunned because we've seen that they are capable from how they finished last season, especially in the FA Cup. But they have won against Liverpool via penalty shootout. The game started very intensely with Ekitike, getting his first competitive goal for Liverpool, and then Crystal Palace equalized via the penalty spot via Mateta, and then Jeremy Frimpong also getting a goal, some deeming that a lucky one, but in the end Liverpool wouldn't care. And then Crystal Palace coming very strongly in the second half, and it was Sarr who got the equalizer before the penalty shootout, where Liverpool missed 3 penalties, Salah, McAllister, and Elliott. But Crystal Palace will win that one. Let me start with Sicho. Sicho, your take on that?
Well, yeah, it's a game. Anyway, it's a one-off game, but you can read a lot of things to read. These days, teams take the Community Shield very seriously.
Right.
More competitive than any friendly game you would play ahead of the season, and we saw it today. But the very things we said about this Liverpool team that need to beef up in defense and maybe need to get a proper DM because we are not sure if they can do what they did from last season. I think we saw signs of it in this Palace game. Because anytime there was a turnover, it was easy for Palace to get straight into their defense. And when the balls were played through, they didn't necessarily have that destructive figure in the middle of the park. Obviously, Gravenberg, congratulations to him, he's had a child today, so he missed out on the game. They didn't have that presence in the middle of the park, and that aided Crystal Palace. But credit to Palace. What they did was to shut out Liverpool from creating enough chances to tear the game away from them. They always stayed in the game, and in the end, 2-2, penalties, and then they are champions of the Community Shield.
Yeah, And so, Jonah, I don't know, but Liverpool seem like they've lost a bit of gas from last season, and if they continue this way, then it should definitely be a problem for them. No.
Yeah, someone will say, of course, Liverpool supporters will say this is the first game, but on the other hand, Crystal Palace will say, there was a trophy on the line, a game before the first game of the season. We're going to win this game to gain momentum going into the first game of the Premier League season. So they played their cards well. It was an entertaining game with 4 goals. I predicted 3-2, but Liverpool didn't find the go-ahead goal, and they managed to take the game to penalty shootouts. Credit to Crystal Palace for winning this game.
Sicho, so what should Liverpool fix going forward, considering this defeat, um, and how they intend, to defend their title? Is Isak going to be the solution?
No, honestly, I don't think Liverpool need to go out there and spend. I get a temptation in Liverpool trying to go out there and spend the money on Isak
They have already
because it's a
spent
generation.
anyway. I mean, let's not forget they've spent really big this summer.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think that Liverpool necessarily desperately need to go and spend the over 100 million for Isak, but the attack is still incredibly stuck with a lot of quality and talent. What Liverpool won't lack is a lot of goals, but I think that Liverpool always need a DM kind of player and another centre back, right? So that Liverpool are a bit more solid in the middle of the park and at the back. And so I think that is what Liverpool need to then focus on fixing. But look, this game should never be a game that tells us anything serious about if Liverpool are going to be title contenders or not. They've got enough quality. Their midfield is still one of the best in the league, or their team is still one of the best in the league. They can go all out there and be competitive. But I think that if they want to be a bit more solid, then they need an extra body in the middle of the park and maybe an
But
extra
they have,
centre back.
they have three central midfielders. They have Gravenberg, they have Soboslai, they have McAllister. How is that not enough?
Yeah. So nobody really is a natural disruptive midfielder. All of them can do a job at it. So last season they survived that with Gravenberg. It worked. But when Gravenberg didn't play or wasn't around, it wasn't the same. And today we saw it. But you cannot only rely on him. I don't think that the manager trusts Endo enough to play him as the DM. So they don't lack
Right.
central or attacking midfielders. What they lack is the backup to Gravenberg when he's not there. Or what they lack is another kind of DM who has the physical presence and enforces in the middle of the park. And if you can bring somebody into that midfield to help, that would work. But when it comes to central midfielders, attacking midfielders, they've got Curtis Jones, they've got Soboslai, you mentioned the names. Elias can chip in, McAllister can chip in. But the DM role for me is where it would be a matter of concern, especially with all the number of games they're going to be playing next season.
Jonah, let me get your take on Crystal Palace, especially the kind of job that Oliver Glasner has achieved at Palace, winning the FA Cup. I mean, the Community Shield is not the biggest of the trophies you can win locally in the Premier League, but it is definitely a big one for a club like Crystal Palace, who do not stand a chance for the Premier League or even for the FA Cup that they won last season. They never really stood a chance all the years preceding that. So this is definitely a big one for them, and it looks like Oliver Glasner is taking them, steps higher than where they were under several coaches before him.
When you look at the way they play, they go few dynamic players that can change games, not just score goals, but can change games. Um, Mateta has been consistent scoring goals for them, and these are the type of strikers you need in your team. And like I said, if they lose Eze and lose Gehi, then it would be a tough season for them. Hopefully, they can keep them and reinforce with few other players. But um, great job Oliver has done with the team so far. Like you said, it's not the biggest trophy when you win the Community Shield, but it's a sign of maturity in the team and great development for the team.
All right. So as we speak, Crystal Palace, at the time of recording on Sunday, it's just after noon over here, but should be 4:30 thereabout. GMT. Crystal Palace are getting their medals. Liverpool have gotten their medals, and Slot is not a happy man. But yeah, I mean, he has to deal with it. But there's also a big feeling that Liverpool have to learn knockout football under Slot. His style of football and the way knockout football is played doesn't necessarily work. The way he was booted out of the Carabao Cup last season, booted out of the FA Cup. Plymouth did a good job on them in one of those competitions. In the Champions League, PSG knocked them out. And of course, PSG went on to win. So, they can defend themselves with that. But it's not necessarily been the best knockout or cup run for Slot. And, one-time games like this as well, when Liverpool are expected to win, he has faltered again, and maybe he needs to vary his tactics in some of these competitions and cup games. But we'll move away from Liverpool. We'll go straight to the hot topic of the episode, and that is going to be the early Premier League predictions. Remember, this is the curtain raiser. The community show is the curtain raiser for the Premier League season, which kicks off next week. I'll be running by you what the fixtures are going to be, after this conversation. But we are about to give out our predictions of the season. So let's start. And so when I mention the category, guys, you just let me know who you think are going to be the answers or your best responses for those. Premier League Player of the Year is how we start. Who do you think wins the Player of the Year this season? There's so many new signings into new clubs, but there are also seasoned players like Salah who know how to get a job done in their various clubs. Who is winning the Premier League Player of the Year? Early predictions.
Okay, so I think that it's a tough one, but I would say Mohamed Salah is yet again going to be the Premier League Player of the Year.
Okay, so he's going safe. Jonah, what's your response to that? Who do you think
says
is
I'm
the... Yeah, he's going safe. He's not taking any risks there. Jonah, who wins it for you?
I'm going with Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland, right?
Oh, yes.
Erling Haaland for for Jonathan Mensah. And then let's look at the top goal scorer then. Top goal scorer. With all the players moving around.
If Liverpool signs Alexander Isak, he's going to be that.
Actually, before we move on, let me also chip in my Player of the Year. I'm also going with Haaland. Actually.
Yes,
I'm also going with Haaland. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I think Man City will definitely have a better season than last time, and if they're going to have a better season, they're going to rely on the goals from Haaland. And if Haaland gets anything close to 30 goals, which is very likely he can, and very possible he can, I don't expect Salah to score as many goals as he scored last season. I think that's just
going very safe.
Anyway, let's go straight to the top goal scorer. You're not wasting any time.
If Liverpool signs Alexander Isak, he's going to be the guy. Otherwise, I think Mohamed Salah will be.
So again, Salah for Sicho. Jonah?
I'm going with Erling Haaland again.
You're going with Haaland again. It's interesting.
Yes, sir.
It's interesting because I'm also going with Haaland. He's a goal machine.
Okay.
And now let's go straight to the playmaker, Premier League playmaker. Who is going to be your best creative player or assist machine? Really, the playmaker award is given Cole Palmer. So Palmer for Sicho. Jonah?
I'm going with Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. I go with Palmer as well. I think there's no.
He's cold. He's cold.
He's cold. Surprise story of the season. Who is the biggest shocker for you this season?
Benjamin Sesko will shock you people.
No, I don't think it will be a shock. For £75 million, you can't expect me to be shocked when he scores goals.
No, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked that.
How will I be shocked? I'm expecting goals. The money you bought him for, I'm expecting goals from him. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a shocker.
But whenever
the only way Sesko shocks me is if he wins any of the awards we are mentioning.
Hang on a minute. Who will be your surprise player of the season?
I'm expecting a player from an average team. Right? So if you tell me, for example, that
who's yours?
Oh, who is mine?
Mm-hmm.
For shocker.
Yes.
Jonah, go first.
You said what? Surprise story of the season or
Surprise story of the
shock?
season. No, surprise story of the season. So it can be
Surprise
shock. It can be
story
a
of the
club,
season.
It can be a club. It can be a footballer. It can be anything. It can be a manager. But what's your surprise story of the season?
I would say a mid or bottom table team finishing top 6.
So when you say bottom table team from last season, you mean?
Yeah.
So Man
So
United
last
can finish
season.
it. So Man United will finish it.
Oh yes, they can.
If Man United finish fifth, if Man United finish fifth, are you saying that's a surprise story?
From what they did last year, ooh, bro.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Sicho.
Okay, so that is your surprise story of the season. We'll revisit this at the end of the season. We'll be keeping this, and we'll revisit it at the start. I mean, at the end of the season.
Now we're waiting for yours.
My surprise of the season is Mohamed Kudus scoring almost 20 goals this season. So that's what my surprise story is going to be. We know him for his creativity. We know him for his hard work. We don't know him for being that prolific. And I think he's going to be
almost 20 goals this season.
This season. Anyway, the bottom three.
Sunderland, Brentford, Burnley.
Sunderland, Brentford,
Burnley.
and Burnley. And then, Sicho, let's have yours.
Burnley leads Sunderland.
Burnley
Leads Sunderland.
Wait, are you saying all the promoted teams are going back?
Well, in the last 3 seasons, all promoted teams have gone back, so I'm just going by the flow.
Oh my God. Okay. So I guess it's my time. I think Burnley will go down. I think Leeds United will go down, and just because of, I mean, it's a hot one, but simply because of how they struggled last season, I think Wolves will go down this time. So I'm going with Burnley, I'm going with Wolves, and then I'm going with Leeds United. So that for me, those are. I think Sunderland were really good last season. I don't know if,
and they've made some decent signings too.
Yeah, some good signings as well. So you never know. Anyway, top four.
Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Man United.
Liverpool for you.
Yeah.
Man City.
Yeah.
Right. Arsenal. And who?
Yep. Man United.
Did I hear Manchester United?
Yes, I heard Man United. You heard Man United. You heard it right.
Is anybody close to Sicho that can hear me? Whatever he's drinking, please take it away from him. I'm not drinking. I've not been drinking the whole time. I'm just. And the reason is look. Listen. Man United are not going to play any competition next season. They've made some decent signings, and even if Ruben Amorim doesn't work and they sack him and they bring in another manager, that manager has every week until the weekend for Premier League to train the players. So they have it in them to compete and finish in top 4. But there's FA Cup and there's Carabao Cup after January.
That is after January, right? And I'm saying those when they are playing FA Cup, everybody's playing. They can take a break until the latter stages. The whole Premier League will break for them to play FA Cup weekend. So it's still one game a weekend. So United are not going to play almost every 3 days like the other teams would do. So I think that.
So Sicho thinks that Man United would actually be better than Chelsea this coming season.
I think so.
Your answer was not confident.
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
I think so because the reason is, let me give you a 1 minute answer. The reason is last season, what helped Chelsea is what will help Man United. Enzo Maresca had a Premier League team and he had a Conference League team.
Do you guys have a big squad?
No. Man United don't need a big squad because they are playing a game a weekend. Last season in the Conference League, Enzo Maresca could choose another team which wasn't strong enough to play in Europe's elite. But next season, he has to by force play his best players in Champions League games and repeat most of them in Premier League games in the weekend. So he cannot do the 2 teams he did last season, 1 Premier League team, 1 Conference League team. No, the Champions League is higher than Conference League. So the big players will still play in there. So we'll see how he's able to run this team around. That's why I doubt they'll make the top 4.
Okay, Jonah, let me hear your top 4. Sicho's is very interesting.
Okay, yeah, mine is Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and then Chelsea for the top 4.
Liverpool, what's the second team?
Liverpool, Man City.
Man City.
Yeah,
Right.
Manchester City. Yes.
Okay. And then you say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mhm.
Yep. And then Chelsea.
And Chelsea. Right.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
That's what I'm going with.
That's what you're going with. Why do you think Liverpool wins again?
They are one of the most consistent teams, obviously, from last year. They got a solid team. They brought in two good players from the same team. Let's not forget in Frimpong and Vet. And Frimpong gives everything going forward, and he's a good defensive player as well.
Right.
Unlike what's his name, Trent.
Mhm.
Trent was a good ball player. Crosses one of the best in the world, but defensively he was lacking a little bit. So
Yeah.
bringing Frimpong in, he's one of the fastest players in the league, I'm sure, and he's going to be covering the center backs very well. So I believe they can go back to back.
All right. So for my predictions, I also tip Liverpool, but I tip Chelsea to be very close to them. I think Chelsea are on a very, very good form, and Chelsea would definitely give them the biggest fight. Arsenal, even though they've signed Gyökeres, I think that Arteta would have a lot of work under his sleeves to blend Gyökeres in the team. It might take a while, or even if it picks up from right from the beginning, I think they'll start at some point. And then I say Man City will be fourth this season. So those are my predictions. Premier League Manager of the Year, guys. Sicho,
Wait.
once again.
You think Man City will be fourth this season, but Erling Haaland will be best player and score the number of goals you think he will score? Then what will the goals do for them? And how will he be best player?
So as we saw last season, Man City were scoring, but were conceding a lot of goals as well. I think Haaland is definitely going to score. He's definitely going to score a lot of goals. As to whether those goals are going to help them to win is a different conversation. But he's going to score goals, especially with the kind of supports that they have with Mamouche and with Cherki now. I think he will have good service. But I do not expect them to win the Premier League title or get close.
Nobody will finish fourth and be best player in the Premier League. I don't think so. But
That
we'll come back
can
to
be
this
true.
one.
Not that it can be true, but that is actually very, very a very good observation. Now I wish I would change my player of the year, but anyway, that's fine. Let's go to manager of the year. Manager of the year, guys. Manager of the year.
I think Arne Slot will win it again. I still think
Arne
he's got an
Slot?
incredible squad. Yeah, too many teams
Jonah?
are still figuring it out, so I think it's going to be him.
Okay, and then for you,
And it's Slot as well.
Slot.
Yes.
Right. Okay, I go with Maresca. I think he's already started a good work and he's going to continue. So Maresca for me.
Yeah.
Let's go to first manager to be sacked this season. Please, nobody should mention Amorim.
Yeah, he's going for 20 years, so we don't need to mention his name. I'm going with Pereira Victor Wolf.
Of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Sicho, who are you going with? First manager to be sacked.
Look, I was thinking it's going to be. I was considering two managers, right? Victor Ferreira, and also I was considering maybe the Leeds United manager. What's his name?
Daniel Fark. Actually, that's the person I'm going with.
Daniel
Daniel
Fark. Yeah, Daniel Fark. Yeah.
So you're also going with Fark?
Yeah, I think Daniel Fark. Yeah, I'm going with Fark.
Okay. All right. So it looks like Daniel Fark and Victor are the guys that people are expecting to be sacked very early. It could be October, could be September, could be December. We never know. But usually between October and October and December is when the first manager is sacked. Somewhere around November is where the managers begin to go home. Anyway, let me start with you again, Sicho. Best signing of the season.
Best signing of the season would be Alexander Isak if he is signed. Otherwise, all his goals are going to go to...
Currently, we are dealing with only ones confirmed. So I know you've mentioned Isak a lot of the time, but we can never go with it. So it's only confirmed deals. So best signing.
I think your best signing could in the end be Hugo Ekitike. He's going to lead the line for Liverpool. They create a lot of chances. Yeah, they create a lot of chances, and he's going to tap them home if he stays in the right positions.
Okay, Jonah.
I'm going with Mo Kudus, Ghana boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Kudus for Spurs, I go with Joao Pedro. 5 goals in 5 games since the Club World Cup. I think he's.
I didn't consider. I didn't consider Kudus as a new signing, or even Joao Pedro. Even Joao Pedro. You are Premier League people. You play the Premier League already. You've come.
It's a new club. It's a new
signing.
Yeah, I get it. You guys are right. But my mind was just wondering, like, players we've not seen in the league, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, right. New arrivals from outside, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they like change of environment things,
All right. So guys, let me just run you through your answers or our answers. Premier League Player of the Year. Sicho went with Salah. Jonah went with Haaland. I went with Haaland. Top scorer. Sicho, Salah, Jonah, Haaland, Thierry, Haaland. Premier League Playmaker of the Year. Palmer for Sicho. Jonah says Bruno, and I also went with Palmer. Surprise story of the season. Sicho says Sesko. Jonah says Man United. And I say Kudus' goals. And then the bottom 3, Sicho says Burnley, Leeds, Sunderland. Jonah says Sunderland, Brentford, Burnley. And I say Burnley, Wolves, Leeds. The top 4. We all say Liverpool is winning, but the remaining is where we, go wrong. Or not go wrong, but I mean, we disagree. So Sicho says Man City, Arsenal, Man United in that order. Jonah says Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea in that order. And then I say Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City in that order. The only strange fish in this pond is Man United. That is the only strange fish in this pond. But anyway, it could just be a very good surprise story because Jonah mentioned them as a surprise story. So it could just be a very good surprise story.
I'm surprised you back up your story with it. Yeah.
Anyway, Premier League Manager of the Year is Slot, and Maresca. First manager to be sacked is Fark, Victor, and Fark. And then we have best signing of the season is Ekitike, Kudus, and Joao Pedro. So we wait to see how this unfolds. We'll hold ourselves accountable at the end of the season. Hopefully by then you will still be watching FC Pitchside podcast on YouTube or be listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you can keep up with all the details. But remember to leave your comments on these predictions that we have made, and we'll definitely go through. Would like to hear from you. What are your top 4? Who are your best signings of the season? And who are your predicted top goal scorers and playmakers and the managers of the season? We would like to hear your thoughts on those. So we are going straight to the Ballon d'Or, and of course that's going to be a hot topic in the coming weeks and months before the award is given at the end of the year. But as you know, the players that have been mentioned, 30 players have been mentioned or nominated on this particular list, and some of the key guys here are Desiree Doué, there is Julie Bellingham, there is Ousmane Dembele, there's Vitinha, there is Kvaratskhelia, there is Harry Kane, there is Gyökeres, Haaland, Guirassy, there's Dumfries, Lautaro Martinez, there's Salah, Lewandowski, there's McAllister, there's Cole Palmer, there's Kylian Mbappe, Nuno Mendes, João Neves, Pedri, Michael Olise, Rafinha, Declan Rice, Fabian Ruiz, Lamine Yamal, of course, Donnarumma, several players. And we all know that, when you look back at the season, it looks like only 3 players, are the favorites for this one: Rafinha, Dembele, and Yamal. Some will even say 2, Yamal and Dembele. So I'm asking Sicho and Jonah what their choices are for the Ballon d'Or. I'll start with you, Jonathan. When you look at the season past, trophies, games won, performances in games, who is your best player of the year?
I'm going with Ousmane Dembele.
Ousmane Dembele, why?
Yes. When you look at obviously you need to do something special with your team, and it's not just collectively, but individually. Did you also put up good numbers that say, okay, that is a game-changing game you had there? And he did that throughout the season, and this was one of the best Dembele, versions of Dembele we've seen. So the numbers were there. He won trophies to back that up. So that's why I'm going with Ousmane Dembele.
Right. Sicho, What's your choice?
Ousmane Dembele is my guy. Look,
He
when
dealt your team. He dealt your team a big lesson in the final, so I know why you did that.
which team?
Inter Milan. Aren't you a Milan fan?
Oh, that was Inter Milan. Milan were my pick. And and that's a great point because even in the final he didn't score, but everything went through him, and that was the point I was going to come to. Oh, thank you for the assist. What I was trying to say is that apart from the goals he scored, almost every good thing from the team went through him. So he would be the one to trigger the press. He would be the one to drop into the middle of the park to pick the ball. So when he wants a standout player, a player who really stood out for his team and made them successful, I don't think you can look beyond Ousmane Dembele in the season or in the year under review. So honestly, and again, why is anybody mentioning Yamal anyway? Because
I mean, I would understand why Yamal is mentioned. My choice would be Dembele, but I if he won, I wouldn't beat myself over it. And the reason is, in terms of individual performances, it takes a lot to overlook Yamal and the kind of performances he put up as a teenager playing at such a big stage. I mean, Jonah would know that as a young boy,
so reward him with the Copa trophy.
No. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he should win it. I'm saying I understand why some people would professionally go for him.
Can I ask you a question?
And the reason is in terms of standout performances, individual standout performances, I don't think there's a better player in the world.
Can I ask you a question?
But in terms of the entire season under perspective, I'll give it to Dembele. And I mean, let's not also forget, Dembele had only about 7 months of the season that he's shown. The beginning of the season, he was at a point he was even taken out of the team.
Yes.
So there's good there, and for me, if it was about goals and performances and all that, I would have gone for Rafinha. But I understand why even Yamal beat Rafinha in Barcelona as the best player there, and the reason is because he is the star boy. He's the guy that gets you off your seat when watching football.
Who in your opinion was Barcelona's best player from last season?
I would say Rafinha.
Okay. Now, if Rafinha was Barca's best player of the season, Lamine Yamal went to play in the Nations League and he wasn't the best player in the Nations League. He wasn't the best player at his club. How then are we looking at a player who was better than him at his club? And he, Rafinha, when it comes to the global awards, and somehow Lamine Yamal gets ahead of him. Look, I love the boy. He's only one of the few wingers who play the way I grew up watching football and loving it. He's direct. He's not shy to beat defenders. He's tricky and everything. And he's one of the best players from last season. But I don't like the narrative that because he's young and he did well, he's all of a sudden better than a player who outshone him in his own team. So I would say Dembele, Rafinha, maybe Vitinha would be my top three. And Lamine Yamal, if he continues this way, surely one day he's going to win it, but not this year.
Well, I understand your point. I don't want to waste too much time on that, but I understand your point. I think we are looking at the player with a star dust on him, and when you look at Rafinha and you look at Yamal is obviously the guy. I understand the Rafinha argument because, like I said, I answered that question about Rafinha being the guy. But you see, the thing is, when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, you're looking at special players, not just goals. And Yamal is a special player. You need to give him that. He's a special player. And if he continues like this, he's going to win multiple Ballon d'Ors. But this year is not his year, at least for me. He's not going to be the guy. Anyway, let's move on straight from there and look at the Yashin Trophy, because this is going to be for the best goalkeeper. There's Alisson, there's Bunu, there's Chevalier. He plays for Lille. He's now moving to PSG. There's Courtois, there's Donnarumma, there's Emi Martinez, there's Jan Oblak, there's David Raya, Marcels, and Jan Sommer. Who wins it for you guys?
I think Donnarumma wins it for me. Straight away, he puts off some of the best saves.
Some of the best saves I saw in the Champions League last season. My goodness.
Yeah.
Some of the best saves I saw in the Champions League last season. No two ways about that. Jonah, what do you say?
I'll go with Gianluigi as well. Because most of the time, if the ball passes everyone on your team, now it's left for you to beat the goalkeeper, and he stood on his head many times for his team. So I'll go with Donnarumma as well.
Right. So that is it. Then it's concluded between all of us. Donnarumma wins this. The coach of the year. I was surprised when I saw Maresca there. I don't think he deserved it to be there. But yeah. Who do you think should be the coach of the year? There's Ancelotti, there's Maresca, there's Hansi Flick, Luis Enrique, Antonio Conte of Napoli.
Well,
Go with
Luis
Luis.
Enrique, obviously, straight away.
I'm going with Luis. Yeah.
Luis Enrique, yeah. I think it's a clear choice between all of us as well. Men's team of the year. Wait, so far have we? It looks like we've agreed on everything. There's Dembele, there's Donnarumma, and then there is Luis Enrique. Anyway, men's team of the year.
Paris Saint-Germain.
PSG.
PSG wins it. PSG wins it. Chelsea fans, we are sorry. You are world champions, but you do not. We are not going to give you that level of credence in this particular one because PSG won the
Club
Champions League.
World though.
Club World Cup. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Club
No, that's
World
fine.
Cup.
That's fine.
Anyway, let's look at a few transfers. Manchester United signing, Man United signing, Leipzig's, striker being Benjamin Sesko. Sicho is a happy man saying that Sesko is going to be the world beater. He's going to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, we hear you. Sunderland are also in talks to find a centre back that will be Alderete. And then, of course, we're looking at Brentford also looking at Bournemouth's Ouattara. Newcastle have also had an agreement in principle with Malik Thiaw, and then Al Hilal have completed the signing of Darwin Nunez. Song Heung-min has already signed with Los Angeles FC, and yesterday he won them a penalty after a very, very good run into the box. Drisby Hall moved from Everton in the course of the week. Moved from Chelsea to Everton, and then Newcastle have also looked at Nicholas Jackson, who's told Chelsea he does not want to be there because of the competition from Delap and Joao Pedro. Thomas Muller has also joined MLS team Vancouver Whitecaps for the remainder of the season. Guys, after this break, we go straight to the quiz.
This is the FC Pitchside podcast, the first in an exciting lineup of podcasts by Footy Centre. Footy Centre is where you'd read your intriguing opinions and daily stories about football. From Europe's biggest leagues, the Champions League, international matches, and for Ghanaian fans, get closer to your favorite national teams.
Welcome back here to FC Pitchside Podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star rating and leave a comment. Same comments on YouTube as you like and subscribe. And we also would want to hear from you. Please, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all the topics we've discussed so far today as we get into the quiz? And let me know what you also think about Jonathan Mensah's last week heroics. Anyway, let's look at today's Player Zigzag. As you know, Player Zigzag, and in case it's your first time, Player Zigzag is all about me mentioning the trajectory of a player. So the clubs a player has played, and the gentleman should tell me who the player is at the hearing of who these players are or what the clubs have been. So let's go straight with the first player. This guy started his career with Valencia B. And when I say Valencia B, you know that the next club he played for is Valencia. So he moved from junior team to senior team. And then he went to Eibar. And then he went to Celta Vigo. And then he went to Manchester City. And then he went to Real Sociedad. Who is this? Valencia B, Valencia, Eibar, Celta, Man City, Real Sociedad.
Nolito.
No.
Is it David Silva?
David Silva is correct. Silva is correct, and that's a first win for Jonathan Mensah. It's a first win for Jonathan Mensah. Let's get ready to rumble. Anyway, next player. Episode is not done. Jonah is over celebrating. Episode is not done. Next player. This guy started his career at Ajax. So many players have started their careers at Ajax. But this guy moved and made his name at AC Milan, and then at Juventus, and then went to Barcelona, and then came back to Italy to Inter Milan, and then Tottenham Hotspur, and then back to Ajax, and then back to England to Crystal Palace, and then Barnett. Who is he?
Again.
Can you run through again?
Special
Please.
player. So this guy started his career at Ajax, then he moved to AC Milan, then he moved to Juventus, then to
Zlatan.
Not Zlatan.
It can't be Zlatan.
Oh yeah, PSG then too.
And then there is Inter Milan, and then Tottenham Hotspur, and then back to Ajax, and then Crystal Palace, and then Barnett.
Ajax to Inter to Juve. No, Ajax to AC to Juve to Inter. Then to Palace.
Yes.
Back to Ajax. And then
Yeah.
Barnett.
Yeah.
Barnett. Ooh, this is a tricky one.
I knew this was going to be tricky. He's a very special player. He stood out on the pitch. Very famous. Famous for one thing. Famous for one thing. Should I tell you where he's from?
Yeah.
You're gonna
It's Dutch.
You're gonna
obviously.
give it up.
It's Dutch, obviously. Like, it's gonna be Dutch. To return to Ajax, it's gonna be Dutch for sure.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Really tough.
He made his name at Juventus.
Dutch.
Is it Goulet?
No.
Oh wait, Edgar Davids.
Edgar Davids is correct.
Crystal Palace. That is the one.
Edgar Davids is correct. Edgar Davids is correct. It's correct.
But it's not supposed to be retard players.
You know waiting help me. So last week I did see this page where they follow for Instagram. They say strange transfer that happened, and I saw Crystal Palace with Edgar Davids. So
Yes.
that Crystal Palace one, wait,
Look.
I said, wait.
Edgar
Palace.
Davis crossed my mind, but I didn't even remember the Palace transfer.
Because
The
when you
Palace
said
move,
that,
yeah.
So I ruled it out.
But I seriously thought Barnett would make Sijo get him because he
No,
will
no.
finish in career for Barnett.
Yes, but the Palace part
Wow.
puts me off. I don't remember anything about the Palace part.
The
I
Palace
really
part wait to me to forget, you know, the Palace
It's
part.
like I don't remember it. As for Barnett, I don't remember. So he put me out like Edgar was out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember
Yeah.
anything about the Palace.
So do we need
Man,
to do the last?
Correlation. No, it's
yeah,
2 out
let's
of
do
3.
for
It's
bonus now.
best of 3.
For bonus, for Chicho, for bonus.
Okay. So this guy started at Hertha Berlin, and
Berlin.
then moved to Tottenham Hotspur, and then to Borussia Dortment, to Portsmouth,
Prince Boateng.
to Genoa.
Prince Boateng.
Yeah,
Okay,
Prince
bonus I go give
Sijo
you.
said it first. Sijo said it
Bonus
first.
I go give you.
Yeah, Sijo. No, you know me go give him. Maybe me go give him.
No, but I chop him already. I chop him.
Top, yeah, you top him. You top him brutal. You top him brutal. 2 consecutive weeks. And it be this wasn't even close. You know, be say we go to the last game. It wasn't even close.
The Prince Martin said, if I slow down where they say I'm make a
Oh my god.
No.
Hey, bro.
No.
Hey,
The bragging rights is with Jonathan Mensah. Please allow him.
No,
Allow
the
him
Edgar
to
Davis you own there.
enjoy his win.
Because the Crystal Palace bit, I don't remember.
Yeah, and me too. Of course, I remember that Spurs where they had this Kappa with his glasses. But then the one way gave me the answer was the Crystal Palace, because this page where they follow, then say strange transfers. Blah, blah, blah,
Share the page.
I go share. Make a share. Wait. Make a share now.
Anyway, while Jonathan Mensah is sharing, that'll be at the end of this episode. Thank you very much for sticking and staying. It's been another episode of FC Pitchside podcast with me, Thierry Nyann. I've been doing this with Jonathan Mensah and Sicho Atrim. The same time next week, we'll bring you another episode. And of course, by then, we'll be reviewing the first weekend of the Premier League. It's going to be a cracking one. Cracking one. But just so you know, Liverpool will be playing against Bournemouth, and that'll be on Friday. Aston Villa against Newcastle on Saturday. Brighton against Fulham. Forest against Brentford, Sunderland against West Ham, Spurs against Burnley, Wolves against Man City. On Sunday, there's Chelsea against Crystal Palace, there's Man United against Arsenal, and then on Monday, there's Leeds United against Everton. That will be how we will be starting the Premier League, season, and that'll be how we'll be wrapping up here as well. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you for doing the listening and the viewing as well. Same time next week, we'll catch you. Bye.
Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series. Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series.